So I want to start with the first one, which came through. That was a really, really, really common question, which is all about nerves. And actually, I want to go. Can I come to you first on this one, Paul?
Yeah, sure.
Do you get nervous these days? Do you remember when you used to go for interviews? And
Yeah.
how would you best advise somebody to deal with their nerves, to combat those nerves?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I still get nervous. It wouldn't be normal if you didn't get nervous at all. I mean, in some ways, it's good to be a little bit nervous, an adrenaline rush. I think
Yeah.
the way to combat nerves, though, I think it's all about preparation, really, as much as you can do. So if you're coming to an institution, make sure you understand exactly what the post entails. You've read up all the details. You've done your research, your homework about the institution and the group and so forth. And so you're confident in that sense that you can anticipate those kind of questions. My message is always try and be positive as well. Is to come across in a positive way. Try and answer all your questions in a positive manner as well. The number of people we interview who come across so negative, and if they don't instill that kind of level of confidence at interview, then it's very hard to think about employing someone like that. So
Yeah.
the nerves is a problem, but do your homework, do your prep. And if you don't know the answer to a question in a panel, just say so. Take a breath, take time out. Don't rush an answer. It's best to, and if you don't know an answer at all, it's best to be honest rather than try and make up an answer. That's often the worst thing. You get yourself into a bit of big hole that way.
Yeah, so preparation, top tip for you, preparation. I think sometimes people can come across when they're nervous as quite certainly, my goodness, I've recruited thousands and thousands of roles, and sometimes when people are nervous, they can come across as quite defensive, quite negative, and they're not at all negative. That's the way that they come across when they're feeling uncomfortable. So preparation is key. What do you think, Michelle? Any tips for that?
I agree with what Paul said. Preparation is key. Getting to where you're going to be interviewed early, just in case there's any problems with traffic. I'm a great believer in last-minute rehearsals in the bathroom before you go into the interview, and talk out loud. So if you have a presentation, say it out loud. If there's common questions which are often asked, such as can you introduce yourself, why have you applied for this job, rehearse saying those out loud. So those phrases are stuck in your mind and they come across much naturally when you're talking to the interview panel. And if you are feeling really nervous, there's no harm in admitting it, because the panel should be giving you the opportunity to present yourself the best you can. And when I have very nervous candidates, we give them time, we let them get a drink of water, let them take a breath, because we want them to perform as well as they can. We've invited them to interview because we think they can do the job, and we want to be able to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love your tip about saying out loud. I always tell people to do that. That's how we, that's how we learn stuff. That's how we learn words to songs, because we sing it out loud. And the more comfortable you are saying these phrases, the more natural you're gonna come across. Yeah, love that. What about you, Sarah? My goodness, you work all over. So tell us about your tips on helping people with nerves.
I think fundamentally nerves come from your adrenaline, and so in order to dissipate that adrenaline, it's always good if you can kind of walk about as well, before the interview. But I think everybody else has summed it up really well, that obviously preparation is key, and the more confident you feel in your own ability, the more it's going to come across. So do prepare, but the panel will expect nerves. So just bear in mind that they will do an icebreaker at the beginning to help you just get talking, and then you'll ease into it, and I'm sure it'll then all go really well.
Yeah, I think it's really important as well for you guys that are watching to prepare yourself mentally. So it's great to have all of these answers and to know exactly what you're saying, but the majority of your interview is going to come across, people forget what you said, they will forget what you did, but they won't forget the way you made them feel. Your body language and the energy that you give off is so important. So it doesn't matter if your answer is perfect, if you're delivering it in the wrong way. So prepare yourself mentally, and that might be, I always say that you should listen to your game song. Everybody has a game song. So a game song is the song that you listen to and it makes you feel incredible. It makes you feel like you can take over the world. I listen to Layla by Eric Clapton. That makes me feel incredible. But I work with a lot of top business executives, top sports people, and music is something that makes us feel things. So even if you can have like a playlist, phone a lighter, phone somebody we all know somebody that makes us feel incredible, schedule a chat with one of these people before your interview so that you're feeling really positive, you're feeling really motivated. Your headspace is super, super important. I would also suggest that when you're in an interview situation to not necessarily apologize for being nervous. they will expect you, as the panel said, they will expect you to be nervous. It shows that you care if you're nervous. It shows that you actually care. But I would say that the moment you apologise for being nervous, now everybody is focusing on the one thing that you didn't want them to focus on, which is that you're nervous. And the interviewer then may be apologising to you because you're nervous, and the dynamic is just changed. So just smile, power through. Okay? So the next question.